Adam here, and this is your daily rant for March 27th of 2013. And today I'm going to talk about where I think the state of horror games is at now, because at PAX East this year, we got shown Outlast, which is a game that people are starting to call possibly the scariest game since Amnesia. And I've taken a look at the trailer, and just before I get into any detail, I'm not playing this game because I fucking hate horror games. I am absolutely terrible with scares and that kind of shit. My mind's way too good for my imagination to be playing something that's going to make me flip out the rest of the night and start walking in darkness, just looking over my shoulder every 2 seconds. It's not a good idea for me. But I have seen the reveal and the launch and some stuff about it, and it really does look truly terrifying. The one thing that I wasn't too happy about is that they were showing off who the enemy is right at the beginning, and it's like, I understand why you're doing it too, but at the same time, like, now people kind of at least have some idea of what to expect now. It's not like Slender where you had no idea really at the time what was coming. But either way, it does look like a game that is not meant just for jump scares. It's a lot of atmospheric stuff and everything else. It's not like, what you get now with most mainstream horror games where it's just, they'll flash a light in front of you or just make a really loud sound and then all of a sudden that'll make you jump. It's I don't understand why they think that that's the right way to scare someone. The right way to scare someone is to make them so freaked out by what's going on around them that they think that there's something there when there absolutely isn't. It could be dead silence and they think that there's something behind them. The idea is that in a game like Slender, and Slender pulled this off really well, is that, at any time you're walking, you have no idea if he could be behind you or not, and some people would instinctively look over the shoulder. Either way, I think that's kind of where what we're starting to see with horror. I think, we are starting to see companies, trying to make games that go back to the way things were before horror games got really mainstream, because of games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill and Dead Space, starting to pump just a tiny bit of action into it. Resident Evil and Dead Space more so than Silent Hill, obviously, but all those games, they don't have the same, horrific edge that they used to. And when you get games like Amnesia, when that came out and people started to think, okay, this is starting to come back. And then Slender was really big last year, and now we have Outlast. So it seems like we're getting to that point where we're starting to see games again that people are starting to look at and think, okay, we got real scary games coming back into play, because now, especially with Kickstarter and a lot of indie publishers now coming out and getting the chance to put their stuff forward, we're getting to see a lot more of these projects now. And I think that's absolutely great. For a genre of games that I'm not into, it doesn't matter, because to me, I don't ever want to see any type of game die. Like, as overdone as, let's say, the Guitar Hero and Rock Band games, where I was sad to see that they're done now. But either way, like, no one wants to see an entire genre of games go away, because then it takes away variety and it just leaves more room for, the same old shit. So when a game like Outlast comes out and I see the reaction to it and see how people are calling this one of the scariest games ever, and the game's not even out yet, and people are just basing this off of, just a little bit that they played at PAX or whatever, that really makes me happy, because it's nice to see that stuff like that's coming back again. It's nice to see people talking about, being truly scared in a game again. So I think at this point, if you asked me a couple of years ago, I would have told you that horror was pretty much on the verge of dying. Now I think with Kickstarter and indie publishers really starting to be brought into the forefront, you're going to start seeing games like this a little more often, I think, and it's going to get a little more attention, because people still truly love to be afraid and people love to be scared. Except me, because, I'm a bit of a wuss.